This is Michael Olise. Olise with a shot, and it's a wonderful goal.
Michael Olise! Cracking goal!
Everyone thinks they know what Michael Olise's silence means. They've called it nonchalance, they've called it arrogance, they've called it aura. They're all wrong. By the end of this video, you'll understand what it actually is and why a country of 70 million people is about to depend on it. In the summer of 2024, Bayern Munich paid 60 million euros to bring a 22-year-old winger from Crystal Palace to the biggest stage in German football. 18 months later, he is the most prolific assister in the Bundesliga, the most coveted right winger in Europe, a starter for France, a scorer in Champions League quarterfinals, and the most watched moment of his entire 2025 wasn't a goal. It was him, sitting on the Munich City Hall balcony, surrounded by his teammates, confetti in the air, the Bundesliga trophy 3 feet from his hand, playing online chess on his phone. Michael Olise was born in Hammersmith, West London, in December 2001. He was raised in Hayes, a suburb under the Heathrow flight path, 15 miles from the centre of London and a world away from it. His father Vincent came to England from Nigeria via Ghana. His mother, Mina, came from a French-Algerian family with roots on both sides of the Mediterranean. 4 nationalities lived under one roof: Nigerian on his father's side, French and Algerian on his mother's, English in the streets outside. He could play for any of them. Years later, sitting in the Bayern magazine offices, he tried to explain what that felt like. "I actually come from 4 countries," he said. "France, Algeria, Nigeria, and England. I feel each individual part in me. I've developed attachments in all my countries." It sounds like an answer. It isn't. It's a description of a particular kind of childhood, one where you belong to everywhere and nowhere at the same time, where every part of you is real, and no single part is enough. He started playing at 6. His parents had seen an advert in the Hayes Gazette and signed him up for a local team called Hayes Youth. By 7, he was being noticed. By 8, he was at Arsenal, then Chelsea. Then, finally, the Cobham Academy, the production line that had built John Terry, Frank Lampard, Mason Mount. He stayed at Chelsea for 7 years. 7. He was 14 years old when they let him go. You have to understand what that does to a child. Not the ones who never had the dream. The ones who'd already been told they were the dream. 7 years of being a Chelsea boy. 7 years of his family arranging their lives around training schedules. And then a meeting in a small room. And a polite handshake. And a journey home that nobody in the car knew how to fill with words. The day after Chelsea released him, his coach took him to a public 5-a-side cage in Hayes. Just the 2 of them, working on touches, working on cognitive load. The other people at the cage, the Sunday League dads, the kids with packed lunches, saw the methods and laughed at them. Manchester City picked him up, then released him too. 2 of the biggest academies in England. Both said no. Somewhere in those years between the Chelsea release and the City release, and the laughter at the 5-a-side cage, a teenage boy made a decision he probably couldn't have named at the time. He stopped reacting. Reading signed him at 16, Championship football. A long way from the Premier League dream he'd been promised at 8 years old. He made his debut at 17 in a 3-0 home defeat to Leeds. He scored his first league goal at 18 against Barnsley on a quiet Saturday afternoon at the Madejski Stadium that nobody outside Reading remembers. 2 years after that, he was the EFL Young Player of the Season. Crystal Palace activated his release clause for £8 million. Suddenly, the boy 2 academies had thrown away was back in the Premier League, and the Premier League didn't quite know what to do with him. He was different. Slower than you expected, quieter than you expected. He drifted in from the right. He found passes nobody else saw. He scored, occasionally, with the kind of finish that looked like an accident from his angle and a masterpiece on the replay. He didn't celebrate them. In April 2023, he became the youngest player in Premier League history to assist 3 goals from open play in a single match. The same season, he became the first Palace player to register 10 league assists in a single campaign. Arsenal wanted him. Chelsea, the club that had released him at 14, wanted him back. Manchester United wanted him. Newcastle wanted him. He stayed. Then Bayern Munich came in, 60 million euros, a 5-year contract. In Munich, the football took on a different shape. 20 goals in his first season, the Bundesliga title, the German Super Cup, the Rookie of the Season award. By the second season, he was leading the entire Bundesliga in assists, 5 clear of his nearest competitor, Luis Diaz, his own teammate. This is the part of the story where, in any other player's documentary, the music would swell. IT doesn't hear. Because the better he got, the quieter he became. The internet has a name for it now. They call him Mr. Nonchalant. They call it aura. They make TikToks of him farming it. Bundesliga's official accounts post the clips. His teammates joke about it on camera. There's a phrase doing the rounds, cobham boy farming aura, that means nothing to anyone over 30 and everything to anyone under it. But here's what every viral edit gets wrong. The aura isn't a personality trait. It isn't a brand. It's what's left over when a kid spends his whole adolescence learning that nothing he shows the world ever changes what the world decides about him. Watch him score a stoppage time winner against Real Madrid in the Champions League quarter-final. Watch his teammates sprint over. Watch him barely move. He isn't being cool. He's protecting something. In September 2024, he made his senior France debut at the Parc des Princes against Italy. 6 months later, he scored his first international goal against Croatia and added an assist that helped overturn a 2-goal aggregate deficit. 3 months after that, he scored against Germany, then against Ukraine in qualifying. 13 caps, 4 goals, started 5 of France's last 6 matches. France qualified for the 2026 World Cup. They were always going to. They are 2-time recent finalists, the second favourites for the tournament, drawn into a group with Senegal, Norway, and the winner of the Iraq-Bolivia-Suriname playoff, a group that should reveal exactly how dominant they can be. But something is shifting in the French camp that nobody saw coming. Kylian Mbappé is still the captain, still the talisman, still the highest paid attacker in football, and for the first time in 8 years, French pundits are openly asking whether the team should still be built around him. The reason they're asking is sitting on a balcony in Munich, playing chess on his phone. In 30 days, France will walk out for the 2026 World Cup. Around Mbappé will be Ousmane Dembélé, Désiré Doué, Bradley Barcola, Randall Kolo Muani, the deepest attacking pool any nation has assembled in a generation. And on the right wing, drifting inside, finding passes nobody else can see, will be the boy from Hayes, the one Chelsea released, the one Manchester City released, the one who chose France because his mother chose France for him before he ever made the choice himself. The question France's coaching staff is wrestling with isn't whether Michael Olise is good enough, it's whether the team can afford to revolve around its loudest player when its quietest one is producing the most decisive football in Europe. This is the bet Olise is asking the world to make, that you don't need to perform the emotion to feel it, that the silence isn't an absence, that a boy who learned, at 14, not to react, has been preparing his whole life for the kind of stage where reaction doesn't matter, and only the football does. And if France get it right, if Deschamps reads the moment instead of fighting it, Michael Olise won't be the unsung hero of this tournament. He'll be the reason France lift the trophy. And the most watched moment of his summer still won't be a goal. It'll be him. On a podium in New Jersey, confetti falling, every camera in the world pointed at his face, looking down at his phone. Michael Olise was made by 4 nations, rejected by 2 academies, chased by every club in England. He learned not to perform. Now the world's loudest tournament is about to find out what it sounds like when its quietest player has nothing left to prove. If you want to know who's about to define this World Cup, subscribe. The next story is already on its way.